fine wine is, in my opinion, the only truly authentic investment which exists. There's a few reasons for that, but I think the most important of which is that you're buying a physical asset that you will own. It will go into the market, and most significantly about this product is that it is going to be consumed. So you're buying bottles of wine, you're buying cases of investment grade wine, and while they're being consumed and supply is dropping significantly, the demand will always increase. So therefore your profits will rise. You're never going to have the last Facebook share, but you may have the last case of Haut-Brion 1982. And when that happens, you can expect to make serious growth within the market while it's being consumed. For that reason, it has a very low correlation to equities, thus minimizing risk, which is fantastic to have given our current circumstances with regards to the precariousness of the stocks and shares and the geopolitical arena that is currently playing out in front of us. How much profit can I expect to see within the fine wine market? Which is a perfectly understandable question, because after all, we're investing and we want to know what we're going to make off the back of that. Just speaking purely on the behalf of the Oeno Group, our profits have always been between 10 and 15%, and we've been showing our clients that for well over half a decade. Now, had you have invested $100 into the stock market in 1952, that'd probably be worth about $120,000 now. Had you invested that same $100 into the fine wine market in 1952, that'd now be worth probably around $468,000, which is incredible because it's outperformed 98% of other investments. So I'm not saying put all your eggs into one basket, but the growth that you can expect to see on a yearly basis is always between 10-15%. Am I insured and am I protected? And of course you absolutely are. When you're investing your hard-earned money into the market, it's imperative that you know that you're legally protected, and it's something that we provide because of course it's in paramount importance to us as a company. First and foremost, we use bonded facility to actually hold your wines. It's called London City Bond. It's effectively a giant warehouse, but it's used by Her Majesty the Queen, and we like to think if it's good enough for Elizabeth, it's certainly good enough for a Oeno Group. But also just on the insurance side, making sure that you understand that you have that legal protection. Let's say your case of wine were to drop and smash into smithereens, well, you're protected against that through our FCA regulated insurance partner. So effectively what that means is if you buy a case of wine at $50,000, it goes up by 10%. When it smashes, you're insured up to the profit on that wine, not the original purchasing price. So it's really, really important that we offer that level of protection. And once again, it's one of the reasons why we've been voted Europe's best fine wine investment company across Europe. So a guarantee of provenance means minimal risk, and it absolutely does. At Oeno Group, the reason why we're always voted the best in Europe is because we're one of the very, very few companies that can always guarantee provenance. To give you a good example as to why this is so imperative and why it's really important is because, let's imagine you were to buy a car and you spent your hard-earned money on it. You'd want to know that that car has come straight from the garage. It hasn't been driven by lots and lots of people, because that can have an effect on its quality, of course. It's exactly the same within the fine wine market. When our clients invest into fine wine with a Oeno Group, we give them a surefire guarantee that is always coming straight from the chateau, straight from the winery. Why that's hugely significant is because when the time comes to actually release your profits and sell you out to the market, we can give that buyer that assurance that the wine hasn't been tampered with, it hasn't traveled around the world multiple times, but in fact it's been kept at optimal conditions. Therefore, we can dictate the optimal prices when the time comes to sell. We're one of very, very few companies that are able to offer that assurance time and time again. Why Oeno? It's your hard-earned money. Why put it into the market by using us? I think the most important thing is that we are a company of firsts. You're going to have two scenarios. There is a fine wine market before the genesis of Oeno, and there is a fine wine market after the genesis of Oeno, which will be changed. Number one, we are the first fine wine investment company to be named Europe's best. Time and time again. We won that twice in 2 years, which makes us the first in history to do so. We are the first company to be umbrellaed by the WSTA, which is the Wine Spirit Trade Association, which means our clients always have that protection because we as a company have to act stringently within a code of conduct, which is of course on the best behalf of our clients. But also we've developed a Oeno House, which is another industry first. It's the first time within this sector that a company has correlated the retail investor directly to the investor. So the company ethos and the philosophy has always been the same. It will never change, it will never waver, and it's always been to prosper with our clients, never from our clients.